Commission meeting to order. If you all stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hubbard.
Here.
Commissioner Bradshaw.
Present.
Commissioner Helms.
Here.
Commissioner Kirkham. Here. Commissioner Morse. Chairman Hassett.
Here.
Vice Chair Gillette. Here. Commissioner Patillo.
Present.
Commissioner Martin. Commissioner Ruge.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Automated announcements, please.
Anyone who has not signed in, please do so at the table located in the lobby. Should anyone wish to speak, please complete a request to speak form, which is also located on the lobby table next to the sign-in sheet. A request to speak form must be completed for each item you would like to speak on. Please note, there are stairs on the right, left, and center aisles, and we ask that you use caution when using the stairs. There is also a ramp located to the audience's left. If anyone has written comments, exhibits, petitions, photos, or letters they intend to present at today's meeting, have 17 copies and give them to a staff member at the back of the auditorium. Staff member, please hold up your hand for the audience. If you do not have 17 copies, you may use the overhead camera to present your documents. Please place your documents on the podium and line it up with the arrows indicated. If you want your documentation to go on record, you must hand them to the clerk after your presentation with the agenda item number clearly marked on the documentation. Members of the public cannot speak to staff members that are seated at the tables with microphones during the meeting. If you have questions, please see the staff member located in the back of the auditorium. All speakers will be limited to 2 minutes to make their presentation statements. Everyone, please turn off all cell phones or place them on vibrate during the meeting. If you must take a call, please leave the meeting area and go outside to have your conversation. We also ask the audience to refrain from talking with one another during the presentations and discussions. Today, the Planning and Zoning Commission will hear public testimony and then forward a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors. Everyone attending the meeting is asked to remember that the administrative building and campus are tobacco-free areas, which means no smoking is allowed from curb to curb. No food or drinks are allowed in the auditorium except for bottled water. If there are any items remaining on the agenda, the Commission will break for lunch for 1 hour per the Chairman's discretion.
The items with a recommendation made by the Commission will be heard by the Board of Supervisors on Monday, February 3rd, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. in this same location, with the exception of any continued items. The approval of the June 12th, July 10th, August 14th, and September 11th meeting minutes, where the items are approved. That's not an action item, right? Y'all like to, okay, a motion to approve those items?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Item number 1, Melanie.
Item number 1 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 402-16047 from an RE 10A residential recreation 10-acre minimum lot size zone to an AR 10A agricultural residential 10-acre minimum lot size zone and an AR 2A agricultural residential 2-acre minimum lot size zone to allow for a minor land division in the scenic vicinity. Staff does find that this application is proper for consideration, subject to the standard conditions.
Thank you. Opening the public hearing. Is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time? Okay. There is no one else signed up to speak on this item, so unless the commissioners have any statements or questions, I'm going to close the public hearing. Okay. Call for a motion on item number 1.
I move that we approve item number 1 with staff recommendations.
First by Bradshaw, second.
I'll second.
Second by Helms. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, hearing none opposed, item 1 carries. Item 2, Vicky.
Agenda item 2 is an evaluation of a request for a special use permit for assessor's parcel number 402-35080 to allow for more than 10 dogs in an AR agricultural residential zone on 3.25 acres in the Littlefield vicinity. Applicant does have a Mojave County kennel license. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions. Applicant should be on the phone.
Thank you. Opening the public hearing, is the applicant present or on Teams? No? All right. No one signed up to speak on this item, so unless the commissioners have any questions or comments, I'm going to close the public hearing. Okay. Call for a motion on item 2.
Make a motion to approve.
First by Ruge, second.
I'll second.
Second by Bradshaw. All in favor?
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, item 2 carries. Item 3, Matthew.
Item number 3 is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the Mojave County General Plan from a high-density residential land use designation to a suburban development area land use designation, and a rezone from a C2 general commercial zone to an AR agricultural residential zone to allow for RVs as temporary residences for assessors parcel numbers 402, 84, 024, 025, 026, 027, 028, 029, 030, and 031 in the scenic vicinity. This item was originally heard by this commission at the November 2024 meeting. It then went to the Board of Supervisors in December and was referred back to the Planning and Zoning Commission for reconsideration. Staff finds that the application is proper for consideration.
Thank you. Opening the public hearing, is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time? Name and address for the record, please.
Ron Onkus, 1399 Amen Court in Mesquite, Nevada.
Perfect.
I'm here just because the original one, they said it got voted down 4-3 because I wasn't here to answer some questions. And so I am here at this time, and I do have a legal well agreement that, so each person on those 8 lots are entitled to be serviced by this well. I can leave that if you want, or it is on a county record.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and then this property was a mess when I bought it about 4 years ago. It had a, whoever's familiar with the area, there used to be a old bar located there that burned down. It had a humongous foundation in there, and there was an old sawmill, and a well driller used to own it, and they just kept throwing junk and junk and junk on there. And so when I bought it, I've spent probably close to $30,000 cleaning it up. I do have some pictures of what it looks like now, but now it's a legit, very nice piece of property. I've put a 4-inch water line in it from the well that's there, and I think it would be a wonderful place for people to build their homes. And it's nice. It overlooks the west. They're going to get some really nice sunsets. It's just going to be a nice place. I would say it's about 700 feet from the fire station or thereabouts maybe. And so I just think it's in a really good location, and I apologize for not being here on the first one, but I'm here to answer any questions now.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, do you have any questions for the applicant?
I do. I got one. I don't see any plans for a dump station on here. If you're going to have RVs, where are they going to be dumping?
I guess when each person will own the lot, and they will put a septic system on each lot. They won't be able to stay out there without a septic system.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Any other questions for the? Oh, yes.
you. So primarily, this will just be for RV, long-term RV. So you'll just sell these properties to individuals, and they will be able to
Correct.
live in an RV or build or.
Correct, yeah, I have, some of them have already changed hands, and they are wanting to put some houses on there. I had another man just approach me before I came to this meeting and said he'd like to buy a couple. So I think it will, I don't know, it's actually building out quite rapid over there in Scenic, believe it or not, right now. And so I believe it will have a decent turnaround, but I do know there are some snowbirds, just to be honest with you, that might want to park an RV on there for 3 or 4 months at a time, but they would be entitled to tie on to the water system, and once they put a septic system in, would be entitled to, dump in their own septic system.
Commissioner?
Are these individual lots?
1 acre lots, 1.1 or something like that, yes. 1.01. There was an easement on the east side, and then when I did the easement down the middle, it crunched the lots, but I still was able to make my 1 acre minimum. But I come to find out in Arizona over there, they take the easements out of the available property. So the easement cannot count as the 1 acre. And so, but I still had the 1 acre minimum.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from commissioners?
I do have one. So each lot is going to be separately owned by each RV, so there would only be potential 7 RVs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 8, no, well, there's 8 lots.
8, yeah.
Yeah, but I think there's going to be at least half of them with houses for sure, because that's what's kind of talking about right now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Closing the public hearing, I'd like to call for motion on item 3.
This is Commissioner Patillo. I have one quick question of staff, if that's okay.
I'm sorry, opening the public hearing, Commissioner Patillo, go ahead.
Yeah, is there any feedback as to really why the Board of Supervisors sent this back to us?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Patillo, yeah, when we got to the Board of Supervisors, I think the recommendation from the commission was denial. I think the board asked why did the commission recommend denial at that Board of Supervisors meeting? And I mentioned that the commission did have some questions, but the applicant wasn't there to attend or to answer those questions. And so they said they would like the item to go back to the commission so the applicant could attend and answer questions.
Thank you. All right, closing the public hearing, we have a motion first by Gillette, a second.
Second.
Bradshaw, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, item 3 carries. Item 4, Vicky.
Agenda item 4 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone for assessors parcel number 229-14176 from CMO Commercial Manufacturing Open Lot Storage Zone to a C2 General Commercial Zone to allow for general commercial uses in the Mojave Valley vicinity. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you. Opening the public hearing, is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak or just available for questions? Thank you. There's no one else signed up to speak on this item. Do commissioners have questions for staff? I'm sorry, for the applicant. My apologies. Questions or comments for the applicant? Okay, if none, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Ruge, second.
I'll second.
Second by Kirkham. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Hearing none opposed, item 4 carries. Thank you. Item 5, Matthew.
Item 5 is an evaluation of a request for a petition of exception for a waiver of providing the typical street curb and gutter cross-section for the Fort Mojave Air Park, Tract 4238, which is a proposed subdivision in the Fort Mojave vicinity. This item has been sent over to Mojave County Public Works, who have reviewed this request, and they have no objection to the proposed petition of exception. The applicant cited that, so this subdivision is an air park, so there's a runway that's part of the subdivision. So the intention is to have airplane hangars on the individual residential lots, and there was concern of the airplanes navigating the curbs. And so they're proposing to have a thickened edge of pavement on each edge of the roadway instead of the typical curb and gutter to minimize those concerns. Staff finds that the petition of exception is proper for consideration.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. The applicant present, do you wish to speak this time or available for questions? Staff have any questions for the applicant? There are 2 people signed up to speak on this item. Name and address for the record, sir.
James Lambert, address 5096 South Antelope Drive, Fort Mojave.
Thank you. Do you have anything you'd like to say on it, or just available for questions?
I'm available for questions.
Okay. I think it, oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Thank you. I do have a couple of questions. So first, how many lots are in this subdivision?
74,
So there's 74 lots.
or minimum 1 acre lots.
So they're 1 acre with the option to build a hangar.
House and a hangar, yes. No hangar without a house,
No hangar without a house?
right.
Okay. So this is simply just to remove the roll curb and do a turn down edge for the roadway section.
Right. Our roadway will be 30 feet wide as opposed to the other air park on the other side that are 24 feet wide, so the width is still there. But the rolled curb, with the road being wider, you might get some car that wants to pass an airplane, and if it's a twin and moves aside, you've got hazard of a prop strike or some other problem with the rolled curb being up.
So this is the travel way for the cars and airplanes? So the
That's
airplanes.
correct. That's correct.
Okay.
Anybody can taxi their plane up to their home, similar to Sun Valley Air Park right across the runway.
And these are private roads, obviously,
Yes,
because
they will
you
be
wouldn't
private
have an
roads,
airplane on a public
gated
street.
community, right.
Okay, so what's your development timeline?
Oh, we hope to be done about 4 years ago. We're at a paving stage. We were hoping to pave within the next week or so, but the paver says it's cold and they want to wait till it warms up. I don't know how the final negotiations have, but it'll be as soon as possible. And we have all the water, electricity, and fiber optics in the ground. We're just waiting on paving.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Stephen?
Not at this time. May I have Sandra Thomas and Chris Pardee? Name and address for the record, please.
Fire Chief of Fort Mojave Mesa Fire Department, Fire Station 91 on Joy Lane, right across the street from the development. So good morning. Again, my name is Chris Pardee. I'm the Fire Chief of Fort Mojave Mesa Fire Department. Wanted to express my concerns regarding the ongoing development directly across the street from our fire station, which is situated adjacent to the critical drainage point leading to the west and east of the fire station. As Jim was saying, and I talk to Jim all the time, good communication between Jim and the fire department. But again, like he said, he wished it had been done 4 years ago. Over the past 2 years, we have witnessed considerable disruption caused by the development, excavation by the lack of mandatory dust ordinance policies that the county doesn't have. This has not only affected the operation, but also posing significant challenges for the surrounding community. While we have been in communication with the developer in the efforts of mitigating the dust problems, that is an ongoing concern about the challenges being made to the original capital plan, particularly regarding the drainage. So curbage, now no curbage, how is that going to affect the drainage? As a fire chief, I'm deeply concerned about the potential of flooding of our aging fire station, which is in current state of disrepair. Thanks to the support of the county, we secured $2.2 million of ARPA money to rebuild the station. But we need to ensure that the new design accounts for any drainage issues that is arising from the development. It is imperative that we have a clear, comprehensive information about the drainage plan to avoid future complications. Furthermore, I believe it is vital for the Planning Commission to ensure that all the residents in the area are adequately informed and engaged in the process. There are opposing issues that need to be addressed. I urge the Commission to consider tabling this matter until we have a thorough discussion to take place between the homeowners and the developer. It is essential that any variance request, such as removal of curbing, are scrutinized carefully to guarantee that no drainage problems will arise that could impact the fire station and the surrounding residents and properties. Thank you very much for your attention in this critical matter, and I look forward to working together to ensure the safety and well-being of the community. Again, we just want the developer and the county to do the right thing.
Thank you very much. Sandra Thomas?
Chris has provided some great information for you. I just wanted to show you what the drainage plan was. Yes, sorry.
May I please have your name and address for the record?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sandra Thomas, 2241 East Joy Lane, Fort Mojave.
Thank you.
So my home is just west of this subdivision, this Air Park subdivision. But I wasn't sure how to put this up on the screen. Is it this way? Thank you. Place docking here. My apologies. Great. So to discuss this item,
Podium's off or the cameras. One of those adjustments are off. So why don't you go ahead and keep going that way?
Okay.
I think they're going to come down and fix it for you.
this is just the map of the diverted water from the drainage report that is part of this subdivision. We feel like there's a precedent set in other areas that have curb and gutter just along Joy Lane. Patriot Estates, Valley Springs Estates, Santa Fe, Twin Palms, Fairway, they all have curb and gutter. And this does not, even if it doesn't in the byways of where the planes are, they want to eliminate all curbing, whether it be a rolled curb or a modified curb, everything. How does that affect the storm drainage from not coming down to Joy Lane, flooding out the fire station, all of the homes along Joy Lane, and my home? I would love to show you a couple of other things. However,
I thought
that
the
may not be
gentleman was
possible.
coming down. Is he gonna? I don't know. It works. You just might need to move it around the podium and see what catches.
Yeah, okay, thank you. At a minimum, the development should go back to its original rollover curbing and ensure at least 6 inches of height as or on the roll to divert water to the center of the street. They do have 3 retention ponds, but that,
IT, would you do me a favor and throw up that camera, please? Thank you.
Thank you.
See, I don't know where it is on your podium.
Okay, that's okay. I think our key is,
There we go.
all right.
Getting there.
Hey, there we go.
Somebody bumped the camera during New Year's cleaning.
Yeah, pretty close. So they do have a plan. Here we go. Is that upside down? They do have a plan of diversion. You could see there is a hill as you come up into this subdivision. And 2 roundabouts. And you really can only see 1 roundabout on your plan because there are 2. The original air park was built, and then this other additional air park that will use the same runway as the original air park. This is, if you've ever seen this area, and we have had significant issues. These are issues within just my house of problems with the dust and what we have experienced. That is the side of my home, which at one time housed a nice plethora of vegetation. But as you can see, and I just wanted to show you the difference.
I appreciate it very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I might be done.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chairman Hassett.
Yes.
Commissioner Martin is on Teams, but she can't unmute herself. So she has a question. Her question is the reason for the request she's not clear on.
The reason for the request to modify or remove the curbs is for the ease of access for airplanes in the air park when taxiing from the runway fuel station back to their home-based hangar that's in the subdivision.
Thank you.
There's no other individuals to speak on this item, but I would like to ask the applicant to come back to the podium to see if they can answer any of the water retention diversion issues or any of the concerns that the two people spoke of, and I'm sure you have more questions from commissioners.
The roads are all inverted, so the water will travel to the center of the road without respect to the curbs itself. The curbs don't hold the water, and the road, the inversion in the road will. The area between the hill and Joy Lane is all covered under a Bureau of Reclamation 404, I think it's called, plan, which requires the two major washes that go through there to be maintained as original. The main wash will dump water across Joy Lane to the existing drainage easement that's over there. The area between that and the house to the west, we will have there's a large drainage retention pond. And again, the roads will bring the water down to Joy Lane, as is the natural flow of the land there. We have 3 major water retention ponds on the property, and the roads with their invert will divert all the water to those areas.
Thank you. Any questions from commissioners? Commissioner?
Yes, thank you. So are you planning to finish and pave the entirety of the subdivision? Or are you going to phase it? What's your construction?
Yeah, we're paving all the roads in the subdivision.
All of the roads will be paved. They have an inverted section, so the drainage goes to the to the middle of the roadway. So it's
right. Water goes to the middle and then down the road to the retention
flows
pond.
to the retention ponds and ultimately is metered out from the retention ponds into the drainage systems.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Martins have any other questions?
She hasn't responded, but Commissioner Patillo has a question.
Commissioner Patillo?
Yeah, so I guess my understanding of this is one of the concerns is getting to a fueling station by the private aircraft and traversing the roads. But why can't this be accomplished with curb and gutter and a driveway type scenario? I've got curbs in front of my house, and I have a driveway going out to it, and it traverses the curbs just fine. Why is there a need for this exception?
Well, the curbs did not provide any more protection than the width of the road with the inversion to the center.
If I may, I have a comment. If it's
I just want to make sure Commissioner Patillo feels that he was adequately answered on that one.
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Commissioner.
So I think my comment is so I've seen this in other air parks and whatnot, and the challenge that you have with airplanes is the wheels are not powered. They are powered by.
That's correct. They're not
powered
powered.
by the props or the
Right.
motor, and so to navigate a bump in an aircraft is very difficult and strenuous for, I mean, you basically have to pull it over it with a mechanical device as opposed to the actual engine of the aircraft. And so it makes total sense to me why this is the request.
The other problem is with the rise curve, the potential of a prop strike, which gets extremely expensive.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments from
Yeah, I do.
Commissioner?
So you're sending all the water down the center of the road.
That's correct.
That's dangerous. Are there any fines that it'll carry? You say you're not paving the whole area, so there is gonna be fines,
We are
mud, et
paving.
cetera.
We are paving all the roads. We're not running any water down an area that's not paved.
What about the lots, sheet flow coming off? It's all gonna go to the center of the road.
Correct.
So you're worried about prop striking at this road curb is not very big. I don't think the prop's gonna be that low, is it?
Some are,
Some are?
yeah.
I just don't see throwing all the mud and the water down the center of the road. I think curbs would work fine. And how are you gonna divert the water into your basins? You put a swale in it, you put a swale in the road?
Well, as the road curves down, as it comes to a catchment basin, the one side tips over and the road, and it goes off to the side.
I see some of these swales by some of these people around here, and the water goes right by the catch basin. So you're gonna make sure that it goes into the basin. That's the water situation is a problem with me. I'm done.
But you have engineered plans that are dictating how these
Right.
things need to be laid, and I'm
And
assuming
it's-
you didn't buy a paver and you're going to do this on a Sunday afternoon.
No, it's not something that, I've got a pull behind paver, but I'm sort of like not quite ready for primetime pavers.
Chairman Hassett?
Yes.
If I could just kind of explain where this is at in the process. So this preliminary plat was approved back in 2022. The final plat has not been approved yet. And so flood control and public works will have to sign off on that final plat before everything is finished and able to be built out for homes and things. And so they will definitely look at the drainage situation at that point.
Perfect, thank you. I appreciate it. Any other questions or comments from commissioners for the applicant? Thank you very much.
Well, I got one.
Oh, yes,
You said that the plat isn't approved yet. Why are we moving forward to this if we don't even know what the plat is like? I would rather,
Go ahead.
So the preliminary plat is approved, so the general layout has been approved. The final plat is what has not been approved, but the county allows for as-built improvements for final plats, so they can make all of the improvements first and then get the final plat approved, so that way, as soon as the plat is approved and recorded, those lots can be sold and permits can be pulled and all of that. And typically a petition of exception is done with the preliminary plat. In this case, this is something that came up after that preliminary plat was approved, and so they're sending it through the process after that preliminary plat's been approved.
okay, I'm still having problems. Curb, it does more than just divert water. Curb is there for a reason other than just water. And to do an exception like this, I couldn't get my hands around it. I would intend to vote no on this anyway. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Closing the public,
I actually have another question.
ending the public hearing, come on back.
For the applicant. So there is a value add to curb, as far as containing the asphalt and as, unraveling the edges and whatnot. Would you consider just changing it to a ribbon curb as opposed to, a roll curb so that it's just a flat curb? Understand that the water is just flowing.
Water's just flowing over, yes, and,
I mean, even with this roll curb, it's spilling to the center of the roadway. I can see that. This is not a catch curb. This is not catching water at all. So there's no water
Correct.
flowing to the curb and rolling down the curb. It's all flowing to
right.
the middle of the
The
road.
only thing it would actually do would be maybe protect some of the edge of the asphalt. And in lieu of that, we are increasing the width of the road, the asphalt at the curb, or at the edge of the road.
So your intent is to do an 8-inch turn down for 12 inches wide. So you'll do an 8-inch thick section of asphalt, 12 inches wide, at all the edges along the roadways.
Yeah, I think it's in the, I don't have a copy of
I'm looking at the detail.
Okay, yes.
And this is a standard mag detail, so this is not, it's not something that isn't constructible and hasn't been adopted and approved in other areas.
Okay. Well, if you look at the existing air park that's there, they have a 24-foot wide road with no curbs on it. And it's also crowned and the water runs off to the sides. And with that, we've seen some erosion on the side of the roads because of the water running down the dirt rather than running down the asphalt.
Makes sense. Okay.
We feel with the thicker asphalt and the water running to the center rather than undermining the sides, that we won't have that problem.
All right, thank you very much. Closing the public hearing, I would like to entertain a motion for item 5.
I'd like to make a comment and a motion. So it does seem like you have a full set of engineering documents. Drainage has been approved, well, in the sense that the construction documents are approved. It seems to me like the curb is not mitigating any drainage issues other than because it's flowing into the center of the road regardless of all the design. And so I move that we adopt this petition of exception.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve, second by Gillette. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Item 5 carries. Item 6, Melanie.
Item 6 is evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 306-40001F from an AR 5A agricultural residential 5-acre minimum lot size zone to an AR agricultural residential zone to allow for a minor land division in the Golden Valley vicinity. Staff finds that the application is proper for consideration, subject to the standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing, is the applicant present? Do you, now then, teams? Okay. I have one person wanting to speak, and I apologize if I mess up on the name, but Mindy Heimdahl. Right there. Are you good going down the curb? Okay. We'll get those for you. Don't worry. You can just keep coming.
I'm a little short. My name is Mindy Heimdahl, and I live at 639 South Arabaca Road. I'm living right there where this parcel is that they're doing. About a month ago or 2 months ago, they were already doing something with that property. They're making there's a wash in between there that you go through to go into the back part of that property. Somebody has made a road behind my house now, and it's got some old vehicles back there, big 18-wheelers and stuff like that. And there's fences all over back there now. There's even a fence in the wash closing that off. And I don't understand any of that kind of things. It said your thing here wants to drop down to the 1 acre. We've had 3 nice houses built on the other side of the wash from me and stuff. And I don't have nothing against that. I just have against that everything that's all of a sudden happening right there already and stuff. And it's been a nice place to live for the last 15 years, but it's really hard to see the difference now up there. So I was just putting a comment in on it.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, ma'am.
You bet.
Questions or comments from commissioners? Questions for staff? Hearing none, I'd like to close the public hearing and call for a motion on item 6.
I'll move approval.
Okay, first by Kirkham, second.
I'll make second.
Second by Ruge. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, item 6 carries. Item 7, Matthew.
Item number 7 is an evaluation of a request for a preliminary plat and petitions of exception for Midway Estates, Tract 3088, a proposed subdivision of assessors parcel numbers 306, 31009, and 010A in the Golden Valley vicinity. The site is approximately 66 acres. It's located north of Ship Drive and east of Teddy Roosevelt. The proposal is to subdivide this area into 273 single-family residential lots. The site is currently zoned R1, single-family residential, which allows for 6,000 square foot lots. The proposed subdivision includes 3 petitions of exception. One is to allow for double fronting lots with the condition that a 1-foot non-vehicular access easement be placed along each lot to prevent access from the external roadways. A petition of exception to allow for blocks exceeding 1,660 feet. And the third is to allow for lots exceeding the 3-to-1 depth ratio. Those last 2 petitions, the applicant has cited the washes in the area as the need to allow those petitions of exception. Staff finds that the proposed preliminary plat and petitions of exception are proper for consideration, subject to these standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing, is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time? Name and address for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Trevin Pennington. I work with Engel Homes. My address is 2247 Mesa Drive, Kingman, Arizona. We purchased the property in 2021. We rezoned it, I believe, in 2022. We're proposing the 273 lots. We're doing an off-site sewer extension and an off-site water extension. I'm available for any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, do you have any questions for the applicant? Not at this time, but we appreciate it. There's no one else signed up to speak on this, so if there's no questions or comments, I'm going to close the public hearing and entertain a motion for item 7.
Move approval.
First of Kirkham, second.
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 Second by Helms. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 7 carries. Item 8, Melanie.
Item 8 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 346-03-009 from an AR 36A agricultural residential 36-acre minimum lot size zone to an AR 15A agricultural residential 15-acre minimum lot size zone to bring the property into compliance in the Bullhead City area. Staff does find that this is proper for consideration subject to the standard conditions.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. Is the applicant present? Teams? Nope. Questions or comments from the commissioners? Hearing none, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion for item 8.
Staff's conditions.
First by Gillette, second.
Second.
Second by Bradshaw. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, item 8 carries. Item 9, Vicky.
Agenda item 9 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone for assessor's parcel number 331-13077B as in boy from an AR 8A agricultural residential 8-acre minimum lot size zone to an AR 5A agricultural residential 5-acre minimum lot size zone to allow for a minor land division in the Kingman vicinity. Staff finds the application proper for consideration with standard conditions.
Thank you. Opening the public hearing. Is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak at this time? All right. Questions or comments from commissioners? Hearing none, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion for item 9.
I move that we approve item 9.
First by Bradshaw, second.
I'll second that.
Second by Rugi. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, hearing none opposed, item 9 carries. Item 10, Matthew.
Item number 10 is an evaluation of a request for a petition of exception for a waiver of providing the typical right-of-way widths for Arns subdivision, tract 3086. A proposed subdivision of assessor's parcel number 310-13058 in the Kingman vicinity. So this subdivision is a type 2 subdivision, which does not require a preliminary plat, which is why this petition of exception needs to be sent prior to the final plat approval. They're looking to subdivide the approximate 40-acre parcel into 7 lots that are all 5 acres or larger. The site is currently zoned AR5A, agricultural residential, with a 5-acre minimum lot size zone. So this petition of exception is to reduce the required right-of-way width, providing access to the site. They're requesting a 50-foot private road from Mason Drive north along the west side of the subdivision, and that with the existing easements along the southern boundary be accepted as they currently exist without the requirement to obtain additional right-of-way, with the reasoning being that this is a rural area with large parcels, and so the required right-of-way width are unnecessary along those that southern border that isn't really used, and that because the access is going to come off of the east side of the subdivision. Again, Mojave County Public Works has reviewed this petition of exception request and has no objection. Staff finds that the petition of exception is proper for consideration.
Thank you very much. Opening the public hearing. Is the applicant present? Do you wish to speak or just available for questions? Okay. Commissioners, do you have any questions or comments for the applicant? Hearing none and no one else has signed up to speak, I'd like to close the public hearing and entertain a motion for item 10.
Motion to approve.
First by Gillette, second.
Second.
Second by Kirkham. All in favor?
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, item 10 carries.
I would be opposed.
Oh, my sincere apologies. All right, Patillo is opposed. Item 10 carries. Item 11 is continued to a later date. Correct. Item 12, commissioners' comments. All right, call the public. Okay, motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.